Hello everybody, and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 news video. Today, we're going to be, well, firstly I'm going to be clarifying something about the last video I did. Obviously I went to the Steam page and I had a look through the Steam stuff, and I sort of said they need to clarify about a load of stuff, and the East Coast Way especially. Apparently, I completely brushed over the fact that they'd released an article on the pre-order. So before we go into the screenshots, which is this article here that I'm going to sort of cover today, I'm just going to read through this article and sort of clarify from the last video. So, pre-order Train Sim World on Steam and get up to 15% off with an exclusive community discount. Now, this is something I missed as a result of not seeing this article. Train Sim World 2, the evolution of train simulation arrives in just 2 weeks from today. So that was yesterday. The game is available to pre-order from Steam. As a small measure of thanks to rail fans who have been waiting with us from the start, we're offering a 15% discount to PC owners who have Train Sim World 2020 in their Steam library. Your passion, creativity, and insight over these past 3 years has driven us to make what we believe is our best train simulation ever. We can't wait to hear from you once you've got your hands on the new game. So, to make this clear, that 15% off offer is only available to existing people who have Train Sim World 2020. If you don't have Train Sim World 2020, you're going to pay $24.99 for Train Sim World 2. If you do, then of course you get the $21.99 price or whatever it was, something like that, wasn't it? It was around there. It was at 21 something. So, yeah. So, yeah. Like I say, I missed that. I missed that was a thing. But here you go. Here it is. There's also some information on the bundle. You can pre-order the game here to the Steam store. You have Train Sim World 2020 in your Steam library. Your discount will be automatically displayed. Remember, if you have Train Sim World 2020, but you're trying to buy Train Sim World 2 on a different Steam account, the discount will not carry over. You'll not be able to use that discount if you're using a different Steam account. It has to be the same Steam account. 15% the 15% pre-order discount also applies to Train Sim World 2 Deluxe Edition. This is an additional bonus at the Preserve Collection route on the East Coast Way. One of our first Preserve Collection routes to Train Sim World 2. Gives you even more to play than Train Sim World 2 Scenario Planner. The custom tool allows you to drive what you want, where you want. Take up the 377-4 into the London Overground or the BR66 up Patch Grade. Climb into the cab in Train Sim World 2 on the 25th of August, all the stuff. Keep on to social channels and launch promotions on console coming in a few weeks. So if you're on a console, I don't know what the promotions are, but we'll see what they come out with. This doesn't really explain any more about whether you've got to buy the bundle if you've got the route already. I've not had a reply yet on. Well, I've not sent them, but I did sort of comment on a Facebook post yesterday, and I was hoping I might have had something back from Matt Pedalston. I've not had anything back yet, so I still don't know. Fingers crossed they've done it. And interestingly enough, DTG actually live streamed last night, and I completely forgot that they were doing so. I think they did the Colnacken route, from what I remember. So I might have to go back and look through that stream and see if there's any key points which I can mention in the next video. I might not do a full-on breakdown of the live stream video for this one, because I can't be bothered. But I might still sort of mention it in the next video I do. But anyway, that's that article about the pre-order. So yeah, you only get the discount if you use the same Steam account that already has a copy of Train Sim World 2020, which I guess is fair enough. It's a shame new users don't get it to try and draw people in, but hey, at the same time, it's not a huge discount. You ain't missing out on all that much, and I would recommend you buy Train Sim World 2 instead of Train Sim World 2020, because obviously Train Sim World 2020, you're restricted to the 2020 content. Train Sim World 2, you're restricted to the 2020 content and every new release that comes out for the game. So if you've got 2020 now, you're not going to be able to buy the content. So maybe they should rename Train Sim World 2020 to Train Sim World Classic or something, because 2020, if they keep it like that, 2020 might sound to some people newer than Train Sim World 2, I don't really know. It might sound, and people will obviously buy the wrong version of the game. So yeah, buy Train Sim World 2 if you haven't got Train Sim World 2020. Or, you know, wait for it to come out and then buy it, would be my advice, because Train Sim World 2020 is pretty much useless once this comes out. Unless you've got your progress, of course, and then you really want to use your progress, and then fair enough. Train Sim World 2 2020 away. Anyway, screenshot time. It didn't work. Lovely. There we go. Cool. Train Sim World 2, clear to proceed. That's the theme for this week. Obviously, the screenshots are all themed. So this suggests it's about green signals and stuff, even though there is clearly no green signal in this picture. But, you know. 2 weeks to launch, and we have some more new screenshots to share with you this Friday. Theme this week is clear to proceed. Take a closer look at the signalling, keeping you safe on time in Train Sim World 2. Well, you say it's keeping us on time, but of course, we all know if you're chasing yellows, you may not be on time. But you know, whatever. Enter in Train Sim World 2, covered by a variety of unique and interesting signalling types, recreated in high detail to add to the realism and immersion of your experience. From the moment your journey starts, you'll be directed by signals. As you can see from the screenshot above, a train leaving London Road Depot. The disc shunt, this one here, which is nice. They put the shunts in. Where was I? The disc shunting signal, lower left, clears the trains to leave and descend to the Bakerloo line. Drivers must stop here and wait for clearance, ensuring they've been given the road to the correct tunnel. It'll be your responsibility to keep a keen lookout for these. So if you didn't know, this tunnel here is actually not connected to the Bakerloo line. This one is merely just a turn back. I believe there's a junction down the bottom that that splits off into the two sides. But this train's obviously going towards Queen's Park, it looks like. So that goes down sort of into the tunnel. It goes down a hill and then joins up with the main Bakerloo line. And the first stop, I believe, is Waterloo. Like I say, the other tunnel is used for shunting manoeuvres. So if you've got a train from one of the tracks over here, and you want to move it to one of the tracks over here, you bring it out, and rather than going down onto the main line, you take it into this tunnel, stop at the buffer stops at the end, change cabs, and then bring your train back in. That'd be nice if there's sort of scenarios and maybe a service that involves that manoeuvre. That'd be quite cool if we could actually use this tunnel. It looks quite nice though. The scenery. Let's just talk about the scenery for a second. A point lever. I don't know about this yellow circle on top. Maybe they're there. I don't know. I've not been to London Road in a while, so I could be wrong and they could be there. There's obviously a motorised point there. You probably have to get clearance to the line controller. There's a rail gap indicator as well. I doubt they illuminate. It'd be cool if occasionally they would illuminate, but then you wouldn't be able to drive the route anyway, so I'm guessing there's no point in making them illuminate. The stoplight there's nice as well. I like how they got the pathways in. They've done the pathways, obviously, support cabins there. And I like this cable here, actually, that runs all the way back to the wall there. This is not something that's done very often, cables that actually sort of go somewhere. And it looks like it's connected to something, so it comes out the top here as well. So that's nice to see that. I like shiny rails as well. Anyway, moving on to the next screenshot. We've got something on the Colne-Achen route. The screenshot above, you see the ICE 3M on the approach to a distance signal. If you are unprepared while travelling at the incredible speeds that the train is capable of, there is a chance you may miss the signal. To prevent this from happening, the approach marker boards, you can see, called that word, are there to provide a distance-based countdown towards the signal, being at 250, 175 and 100 metres from the signal. The driver then has ample time to prepare take the appropriate action. Signals cannot be read reliably at speed, so if you're running with the LZB enabled, you'll be progressively reduced in speed by the system when approaching an adverse signal. So, if you can't work out what these boards are for, they're kind of like a motorway. If you've ever been down a motorway and you've got 3 lines, 2 lines and 1 line on a sign just before a junction, they basically mean the junction turn-off is 300 yards away, 200 yards away and 100 yards away. Obviously 3 lines is 300, 2 is 200. So it's the same principle. And it basically just lets you know that you're coming up. Be prepared to make your next move. With these, you might not see the signal as you're going so fast, but if you see the board, because they're quite big and quite obvious against the green background, or they should be technically, you're more likely to see the board, and when you see the board, you'll know, right, there's a signal coming, look up, and there's the signal, and you can hopefully, fingers crossed, read it in time. Like I say, if you've got LZB on, then it shouldn't really make a difference whether you see a signal or not, because it sounds like it practically drives the train for you. But if you want to see the signal, then yeah, these boards are going to help you do that, so that's nice. I like the reflection in the ICE as well, the board. The way the stripes are sort of at a really weird angle's kind of funny. Anyway, next one. CSX. We've got a load of signals. American signaling, I'm sure, is good if you know how it works. To me, it's weird, but I'm sure. You know. Sandbirch grade has an interesting variety of signal types present throughout the route. It's primarily due to the different systems employed by the former railroads that operated the route over the years. In the image above, the signal heads carry hoods, often nicknamed Darth Vader, to reduce the light bleed from the sides, reduce snow build-up, and improve readability, from much further away than those with traditional mounted ones. So yeah, these have basically got a big hood on them. It's similar to how sort of UK signals, they're probably not a picture of one. Oh, you can kind of see it. On that signal there, it's got a cover over each signal head. On them, rather than each lamp, they've got a cover over the entire signal by the looks of things. So I can imagine that would actually be better to see from a distance, because you're not got the light in the middle. And basically, if you've got the half cover, if you ever looked at a traffic light, for example, only half of the signal's covered by the shade. Whereas them things, the whole light looks to be covered, so that's quite good. Quite like that. Bakerloo line is a wabbit, yes. Oh wow, I can't speak today. The Bakerloo line is a rabbit warren of underground tunnels, sharp curves, and fast-changing gradients. Due diligence is important. Signals can be close together and appear very quickly around curves in the darkness. As you can see from the in-cab screenshot of the 1972 Mark II stock above, when playing Train Sim World 2, it's possible to change the level of assistance the HUD provides regarding to upcoming signals. So obviously we've got, I think it's controlling the numbers to change all the different varies and see what bits are showing up. You can obviously do that in Train Sim World 2. You can see we've got a tunnel signal. That is an auto. That next one could quite possibly be a repeater, however. And hopefully they've added the repeaters. I can't see why they wouldn't. If they've not added the repeaters, then what are they doing? They might as well have not bothered doing the signalling system. Obviously, your repeaters you want to look out for, because they'll show a yellow light or a green light. And if the next signal is red, you'll see a yellow light, meaning if you see a yellow light, you've got to stop at the next signal. If you see a green light, it means you've not got to stop at the next signal. Generally, a repeater will have a yellow panel and an R prefix. This is an auto signal because it's a white panel. It has an A prefix. I believe semi-autos have a... I think they possibly have an S, but they may also have the location. I think they may be the location name. Semi-automatic signals are basically where the signaller tells the signal to be green, and then once the train goes over, it automatically changes back to red. Signals and signage need to be clear when driving on the railway. Accrington Station is no exception, with a busy network of junctions, which is common near most large stations. Knowing if your safety to proceed is important. As you can see, you're greeted with very clear signals at the end of the platform. Permanent 40 km/h speed restriction sign is visible for trains departing towards Colne, ensuring that departed at a safe speed, not operating under PZB monitoring. Where's the speed sign that they're talking about? Oh, up the top there. It's got a little 4 on it. So that's always got me about German speed. If they need to sort of add sort of a really weird number, then they can't. They're pretty restricted. I think they can do like 4.5 for 45. But in general, they only use a single digit. Most of their well, it's kilometers an hour, obviously. But most of their speed signs are single digits, and they're rounded up to the nearest 10 km/h. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of easier to see and take in when you're only looking for one number, especially when you're going high speed. That's why Derail Valley has done it like that, because they've got big signs and only one number so that you can see from a distance more easily what speed you should be doing. You've not got to try and take in two numbers. So the same principle is sort of clear, is the same for this, but you know, Train you see waiting in Queen's Park Station above has been granted permission to proceed by the signaller. This signal permits trains to... Oh, look, we can see BB, so it's Bakerloo, I guess. Bakerloo... I don't know what why it's Bravo Bravo. It's standing for something. I would say something to do with the Bakerloo. Baker Street. It might. Maybe the signalling centres at Baker Street. I can't remember where the lines are actually controlled from now, but it could be Bakerloo line location possibly. I can't remember exactly how they number their how they name their signals. Signal permits to proceed onward to Harrow and Wilson, or into deciding Queen's Park, where a caution is required at the end of the line. The complexity of the signal shown here and a number of heads is present due to a multi-purpose nature of some signals. The particular signal contains a coacting head, which repeats what is shown on the main head, given the low driving position and the stopping location. The driver would be unable to see the main head, so they need to duplicate in just the right place to provide some status on the route ahead. You'll notice that this signal includes a disc shunting head, which can be used to route the trains into the siding. A theatre indicator advises which of the routes the train will be taking into the thingy, and a rail gap indicator to advise there is no power ahead. All of this mounted onto one post. So, again with this signal, what you've got is your coacting and your normal signal. So basically, if you don't know, railways have a standardised height that the signals have to be. All signals have to be at this height. However, as on the Bakerloo line in this particular station, Queen's Park, you pull up to the end of the platform. As the post is literally at the end of the signal, it's really awkward, especially with the fact that you can't have no opening cab door. It's really awkward to try and see that signal colour at the top. Therefore, they basically have a repeater of what the signal displays, the coacting signal. So I believe this shows a red and a green aspect. It may show a yellow and a green, but I believe it shows a red and a green. And it shows the exact same display as whatever that says. So you could, as you can see, you're at cab height. This signal is at cab height, so you can see if it's clear to go or not. You got your neutral section indicator to say if the power's on or off. If these lights are illuminated red, that means the power in the section ahead is off. Like I was saying before, I don't think they will have simulated this in the game, but it would be cool if they have. You got a speed board for your speed. It's 10 mile an hour across all tracks here. So that's why there's no specific arrows or anything. Your shunt signal obviously tells you you're going into the yard, and the route indicator will tell you this is the track you're taking. I believe it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4 or something. So you'll get it's either that or 1 and 2. But you'll get the indicator, and it will illuminate which number road you're going into. When you're clear to go round, you will take this track here. You don't need a route number because the signal, this is enough to sort of tell you you're going straight on. There's no need to be specific about which track you're going if you've already been given the main signal anyway. So yeah, overall, looks good. I'm pleased that they've got the underground signals in, of course. It looks nice. I think they're all underground. I'm slightly umming and ahhing over these, the texturing of these, shunt signals, whether they're actually correct or not. Hopefully they are, fingers crossed. Actually, this is a good point. That signal in question there, that somebody saw it, and I think they saw the route indicator off it, and thought it was a National Rail signal. So I don't know whether it's been, denational railed, when they got the asset sort of thing. They've made a new asset since they released the first screenshots. Or if it's all been like that all along and we've just not been able to see it sort of thing. Tunnels, again, these definitely look as though they should be deeper. I'm not even convinced they're actually 3D at all. I think they might just be a texture, which is a shame because there's a tube tunnel from DTG in Train Sim World Classic, and it actually has depth to it, and it looks really good, except for the fact that it's slightly too narrow, but whatever. Cable runs, yeah, that looks like the back of an indicator. I like the weathering on them, though. That does look good. The tunnels are alright as well. It's hard to make a tunnel texture, so that looks good enough. They've put all the some thought into the texturing of it, sort of thing. The cab actually looks slightly more weathered. It looks like there's more dirt on it. I don't know if that's just simply because we're now in a tunnel and there's less backlight. You've obviously got a cab light on, you can see, but who knows? The signal looks good, though. The signal does look good. Again, we've all seen the CSX signals. You've got a yellow one there. That means you can proceed. Red means, obviously, you've got to stop. That's not what I wanted to do. That is what I wanted. Again, your speed boards, I've already explained how they work. And, of course, your shunt indicators. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope if you didn't before... Oh, there's a tripcock there, I've just noticed as well. Yeah, there's a tripcock. So, when that signal is in that position, this tripcock arm is in the raised position. When the signal drops 45 degrees, it rotates. This arm on the tripcock actually lowers. And basically what you've got is a little sort of arm on the outside of the train that if the signal is red, the arm gets knocked out of the way, latched back, and the air brakes come on. It basically dumps all the air pressure. It's a very simple but very effective system. And it's good that they've included it. Apparently they're animated, but they're not going to be functional. So if you go for a red signal, you ain't going to get trip-cocked. You're just going to... The game's just still going to have a go at you that you passed a red signal and then kick you out. Which is unfortunate, but hey. I guess that's the way they decided to do it. Maybe one day we'll have trip-cock simulation. Who knows? Who knows? Again, if you've got if you've that thing, yes. This little bit of rail's getting me as well. How short that is. That's kind of funny. I don't know if it's like that in real life. I would possibly say it might be, actually. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I've forgotten what I was saying before. Oh, fence. There's a funny story about this fence, but I'll save that for another time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.